I mean, you have to call it as you see it. These workers are abusers, and they place children in the most abusive places. These are like foster homes, these facilities for children. And I listened to someone, I think his name was Dr. Nancory, talk about how some of these facilities for children are very bad. The children are abused and they are raped. It messes children up. And a lot of adults already know this. There was an incident many years ago, and I think it was an orphanage located in Washington, D.C. And they drugged the children. And while the children were out, sleep, whatever, from the drug, they were raping the children. And these were the workers who worked in the orphanage. Those children grew up with a lot of severe problems. I remember President Clinton, this was all over the news, had evidently sent workers out in the field or into the streets to look for a lot of these kids, because by then they were grown, but a lot of them were homeless, and they had no hope for anything. And more than likely they were severely abused by government workers when they went to get help. And so, it just goes to show you that, it goes to show you again, as I was saying, these therapists and counselors, you cannot, talk to them as though they are your friends, because first and foremost, they are not your friends. You don't know what resides in the hearts and minds of those people. And you have to remember that abusers can be homeless and look homeless. They can be top-notch professionals. They can even seem really super nice. You have to be careful, and at the first hint of any of this junk, you find someone else to work with. And like I say, even if it's somebody who's a good friend that's they have their head on straight, they're not drug abusers, alcohol abusers, but then again, they're not so holier than thou, because you don't want those type of people in your life either. What I call the religious folks that jump up and down and clap their hands like idiots, and then go home and beat their dog and everything else in sight. So you have to be very careful. And there are a lot of agencies that are being created, they say, to help people, but it's only to cover up a lot of huge illegal activity concerning money, stuff like that. You're going to find very few people, I believe, in the world, well, I would say United States. I know foreigners have all kind of gross stuff going on, but in the United States, a lot of people have, I've always said, and I believe it's even taught in psychology, every man has the inclination to do the most grotesque things to other people, especially children. Some just choose not to. And those who are adult victims of child abuse, if they have not been healed of that stuff, more than likely, you're going to be able to tell. Now, as I was saying, you will be able to tell. Now, I will say this. The one best therapist I ever had, and I was only one in all the years I've been on this earth, he said to me, the only thing that will help you in this healing process is meeting enough good people that you get along with, that respect you, and they treat you good, and you just get along. He says, that really helps the healing. You meet a lot of bad people, that will cause you more harm. And he is right. Thank you for listening.